everybody, how are you? I hope that you are absolutely amazing and having a wonderful weekend. So today is the questions from the heart episode. I got some really amazing feedback from the last podcast episode we did like this. You ask your questions, I from somewhere within here answer them, and hopefully it helps you have another perspective and some fresh eyes on a situation. That means you will be able to kind of come up with a different solution or see things differently, and you never know what may come from that. So today, the two questions that I have that I will be answering is how to listen to your intuition. This is a huge one that I could do a whole podcast on, but I'm going to try and be quite succinct with it. And the other one is how do I feel more healthy and break unhealthy habits, which is an interesting one because we all have unhealthy, in quotation marks for people listening to this, unhealthy habits. So that will be an interesting one to see what comes of that. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Rosanna. I am the host of the Design Your Legacy podcast. I am the founder of Rosanna Croft Jewellery, which is a fine jewellery company, and I am a spiritual life coach. Now I say life coach, it kind of goes a lot deeper than that. I'm more of a self-discovery coach, so I kind of help you connect to who you really are and help you live your life from a place of love rather than fear and anxiety, which is where I have been before, and now I'm living a wonderful life, and I really want to help other people do the same thing. So this is what I do, and in this podcast I really hope that you might hear something that will encourage you to make a change, or just let you know you're on the right path, or help you, encourage you, inspire you in some way, whether it's through my words or through the words of one of my guests. If you have a flick back, if you're new to the podcast, I have some incredible guests on, and we talk about a vast array of different things. So without further ado, I am going to get into these because they are really exciting questions to answer. So, how to listen to your intuition. Okay. Intuition is it's like you just know, right? That is the most annoying answer. But you know when a decision is right for you, you know when a decision is wrong for you. What we need to do is clear out the fog and the mud that gets in the way of our intuition. So the intellectual mind, the ego, the small self, potentially people around us questioning us. I'd be very selective. If you're trying to make a big decision intuitively, I'd be very selective about who you talk to about it. Because you might get people that kind of back up the ideas of the intellectual mind, the small self, which isn't always like the logical mind. That's not your intuition. Intuition is a feeling. Intuition is a knowing. You already know it. You just need to feel it. So my advice on how to do that would be to spend more time quiet with yourself, spend more time not distracting yourself, not on your phone, spend more time moving your energy, dancing, walking, running, whatever floats your boat. Yoga and dancing are great because they really connect you to your body. Running can be great, it really connects you to your breath if you kind of aware and conscious of that. So spending time on your own without noise, without being really present, gives space for your body, for your intuition to speak louder, but it also gives you an awareness of your energy and your feelings, and being more aware of your energy, your whole energy body you will be able to feel when something feels right and something feels wrong. It's like a muscle that you have to train. And your intuition isn't always rational. So listening to your heart, not always rational. I think listening to your heart and intuition are slightly different things, but they're sort of similar as well. So when you're listening to your heart, people might question why. So I've made a really big decision in my life recently, and people are like, why are you doing this? And my answer is, I don't know. I just feel like this is what I have to do, which is really interesting. I can't wait to share more about it because it's going to be such a huge adventure. But people will probably question why you're doing something. It might not make rational sense to the ego mind. Not everybody is going through a place where they want to listen to your intuition, where they want to be more present. Not everybody's there. So if you are, that is amazing. And keep training the muscle. Keep making your decisions led by your heart, led by your intuition, and you will slowly get better and better at it. The heart may not always feel, it may not always make sense to our logic, to our ego, to our intellectual mind, but the heart is one of the safest places that you can be. Your heart will never take you wrong. It will always guide you to a place that is for your absolute highest, that is for your right path. You know, I believe we are all guided on this journey. We are all guided by our higher self, by the universe, by God, by source energy, by our heart. I believe, like, we're connected to source. We're all connected. None of us are separate. We are all this connected energy, and that for us is at the center of our hearts. So our heart really is the safest place that we can be. Spending more time breathing specifically into the heart, doing heart chakra meditations will help you open your heart. That will help you be more connected and will guide you in the way that you're supposed to go. This is what I've been doing. It's taking me on a wild ride, and I really, really love it. And it's not where I would have put myself. It's not where I would have let my ego take me. It's not where I would have let my logical mind take me. And I'm actually a person who's always had very, very logical people in her life. Like, I've chosen very logical people to be in my life, and some of those people have fallen away, and they've fallen away because that's not where I am anymore. It's nothing against me, it's nothing against them. It's just that we've kind of separated, like we've just grown apart, and that's because we're not on the same path anymore. So I am on a path guided by the heart and guided by my heart, because I'm trying to live a more guided life, and I want to be connected to this, to more connected to myself, more connected to source, and then living this life led by my heart, led by intuition, led by love. And you know, I'm not perfect at it yet. I've been making one decision recently that I've been completely going back and forwards on, and 1 minute I'm listening to my heart, and the next minute I'm getting confused and thinking, and my ego is trying to rationalize everything. So if you're overthinking it too much, you're in the intellectual mind, and that is where you're going to start getting confused. You'll start questioning yourself. You'll be trying to justify yourself. You're trying to persuade yourself that something's right. You know inside what is right and what is wrong. You'll feel it. So I really recommend being quiet with yourself, breathing into the heart, asking yourself the question, feel the feeling. What is the feeling trying to tell you? And then that feeling is your answer. And you may even get something that comes into your head that says this. You might be shown something on the side of a bus that says this. And if you connect to that, that is your intuition, that is you being guided, that is you receiving a message from something higher, which could just be your higher self. there's a really wonderful kind of thing that I've learned recently, that our higher self is like, it's the version of us that has lived every single possibility and every single reality. There are infinite possibilities available to us. We can make a decision to turn left or right. Each one would take us in a different path. Each one would affect us in a different way at some point in our lives. There are infinite possibilities available to us, and even more widely than that, like there are miracles happening all around us every single day. But so our higher selves are the versions of us that have lived every single possibility, every single reality. So our higher self, our intuition, is the one that knows, because it's been there and done that, and it knows which way to guide you. So in this conversation as well, the person I was listening to mentioned that, you know, there's a version of us here now, there is a version of us in ancient Egypt, like wherever our soul has been before, there is a version of before. It's all happening right now, because we don't live in this linear timeline. We live in a quantum universe. So that means everything is happening right now, which is absolutely like mind-blowing. I love it so much. I think I mentioned this in another episode recently, that I just feel like this kid who has been told that magic exists, and I absolutely am so in awe, and I love it so much. But I know within my heart that it's true, but to the intellectual mind it doesn't really make sense. But I know, because that's not what we've been told. It's not, you know, it's not what you see in the news, it's not what you see necessarily on Instagram. I do, but not everybody does, and it's not what we've been told. So it's like a new way of looking at things, but it's not, because if you will, if it resonates with you, you will know in your body that it is true. And I would say that's kind of all about intuition. It's more like a feeling of, oh yes, I remember, like a feeling of, oh yeah, that's the right thing. And you know, and I would also say, when making a decision, whether it's intuition or logic or whatever it is, it's actually always the right decision. You actually can't ever make a wrong decision, because whatever decision you make is the decision that you were supposed to go on. So don't beat yourself up about it. Just be present and do what you think is best at the time. And you might learn something, or, you know, because potentially it might seem like you made the wrong decision, or it might seem, or, you know, it might work really well. Like there's always going to be, you know, things that go wrong or happen in our lives, but remember, it's all happening for us, not to us. It's all happening to teach us, to guide us, to help us in some ways. Everything is happening for our highest good. And if it doesn't work out, there's something better coming. There is always something better coming. A mantra that I've been using recently is, life always works out for me. Life always works out for me. There's always something better coming. And that is really empowering. And again, helps me connect to my intuition a little bit more. Because I'm just being open. So things that kind of expand your consciousness as well, creating, just gives you more space, frees up your energy, connects you to your heart, connects you to your soul, connects you to who you really are. And then you start to kind of gain trust in yourself and more connected to yourself, and you just kind of move through life. The ego doesn't completely go away. The chatter doesn't completely stop, but meditation is a really, really great way to help the chatter quieten down. You have a lot less of it. I am noticing that massively in certain areas of my life, where before I would really, really beat myself up and make me feel horrendous about something. This brings me really nicely into the next question. So I would really, really beat myself up, but I notice now that the more meditation I'm doing, the less I am beating myself up and the more I'm just accepting and loving. And that is a really, really amazing place to be. So the next question is, so it's worded, how do I feel more healthy and break unhealthy habits? So how do I feel more healthy and break unhealthy habits? Right, so nobody's perfect to start with. Nobody's perfect. We are living in a society, especially like in the Western world, we live in a society that the media, the news is always fear-based. So it's always telling us that we are not kind of good enough. You're being sold ideas that you're not good enough. You're being sold ideas, you're being sold diets. And this has been the case for years and years and years. You're being sold diets. You're being sold that you're not pretty enough. You're being sold all of these things because you're being sold a way to fix something. I would really strongly advise that the first thing you do is love and accept yourself for who you are and where you are right now, without thinking about, how do I change myself? How do I fix this? How do I break this habit? How do I feel more healthy? How do I love and accept yourself for who you are right now? Because without that, you're going to guilt yourself, shame yourself, and guilt yourself. You're going to shame yourself into like a really low frequency and a low vibration, and that is just going to make you feel worse. And we know like attracts like. You feel shit, you're just going to keep on feeling more shit. So love and accept yourself deeply, deeply, deeply for where you are right now, and be aware of the habits that are making you feel crap. So one for me in the past has been drinking alcohol. I find that these always work better if I can use an example of my own, and which sometimes makes me feel really vulnerable. But that is like, I really believe that we can learn so much better from real life examples. So one for me has been alcohol. Like, I used to drink a lot. I had to be aware of, I have become aware of why I'm drinking and what I'm drinking for. So, and am I drinking to escape or numb something or distract myself? Or am I drinking for because it's like a sociable thing to do? I'm bonding with friends and family. And I see that it all depends on the mindset behind what you're doing. So if you're eating chocolate and making yourself feel guilty about eating chocolate and you're eating chocolate to give yourself comfort, I would say let's change the mindset rather than change the habit first. Then the habit will naturally change because you will be in a more open and conscious place. You will be aware of what you're feeling while you're doing it, and then you might choose to make a different decision. So really, really don't judge yourself for what you're doing, and maybe meditate and journal on why. So I've really, I've kind of been a bit all or nothing in that. Well, I stopped drinking while I was having chemotherapy because it all didn't mix. And then, but before I drank a lot. So having that break from alcohol really helped me take a step back and look at why I drank. So I now do drink alcohol, but there have been occasions where I've probably gone over my limit and I've really, really beat myself up the next day. So I've always said the hangover isn't it for me, it's what it does to my mind, it's what it does to my mental health. It makes me feel horrendous, and I know it does to other people as well. It's the emotions, because we're judging ourselves, we're making ourselves wrong for going over the limit. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't, like, I feel awful. Why have I done this to myself? The second we are beating ourselves up for it, it's worse. It doesn't make, like, so accept that, yes, last night I drank too much and now I feel like this, and these are the decisions I'm going to make going forward. And being more connected to yourself will really help you stay aware of like whether it's a habit or whether it's a kind of in the moment, this is for my highest right now. If you really believe it's for your highest right now, do it. If it's for your highest right now, eating this piece of chocolate is for my highest right this very second, perfect, amazing. And if you feel that way, there's absolutely no way you're going to make yourself feel guilty. There's absolutely no way that's unhealthy. Okay? If you're eating chocolate every day after work, or or drinking a beer every day after work, that's a habit. That is an addiction, and that is you trying to potentially use that to relieve stress. And then if you're aware of that, you might then make a decision to relieve your stress another way, like going for a run after work every day, or doing yoga after work every day, or meditating more. And that will help you be more aware and break this habit. But you can't break any habit without first accepting and loving yourself, and then being aware. So I would say, if you're asking a question, like we're aware that we've got that there are some things that you want to change, and that's huge. But be aware and don't judge yourself. Don't shame yourself for it, because that will put you in a lower frequency, and it's just not a nice place to be. And you'll probably keep making the same decisions. So if you can love yourself instead, you might then decide something else next time. Just an idea. And journaling and meditating. Journaling on it, asking yourself the questions, why, understanding the feelings behind it. How can I get those feelings another way? Is it, if it's energy that I need, is sugar the best way, or is going for a 15-minute walk the best way? You get endorphins from both, so which one is the healthier one for you right now? Which one is for your highest right now? And I'm still working on a lot of this. Like, I saw a friend earlier who used to be my personal trainer, and we were talking about like body image, and I've struggled with my body image since finishing chemotherapy, because I was not as strong as I was used to, and all of this. So was I then overcompensating by trying to do too much, blah 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 blah. So nobody's perfect. We are all human. We're here to learn and to grow and to expand. But at the end of the day, we are human, so we have to love and accept that we are human, and live a human life. We're here to live. We're not here to suffer. We're here to live and enjoy life. So and that's a mindset thing. It's not a habit thing. So if we can be in the mindset of we are loving and enjoying life, that's great. But not in, like, there is a very fine line between, yes, living and enjoying life, and the YOLO attitude that I used to have, which was, fuck it, I'll, problem for future me. Or are you in a place of, I'm doing this is for my highest right now? There's a balance, there's a balance. The way you gain more balance and alignment in your life is by connecting to yourself more. The biggest tool for that for me is meditation, nature, having positive people in my life who are there to support my highest. This really helps when you're following your intuition and making intuitive decisions, because those people might help you see a different way, or they will just support you whatever you decide, and that is, that is incredible. And they're the type of people we want in our lives, people who support our highest version of ourselves. So yeah, I think I was checking my notes to see if there was anything else I wanted to add, but I think that's it. I mean, the biggest thing for me, it always comes back to love. It always comes back to bringing more love into your life, receiving more love, accepting and loving yourself in every way. And you can never then make a wrong decision, and your unhealthy habits, they'll kind of not be unhealthy anymore, and you will maybe choose a different habit, replace it with a more empowering habit, and you will just, loving and accepting yourself will make you feel more healthy. You'll then make more healthy decisions, and you will then be living a healthy life. And if it's weight that you're worried about, it doesn't specify, but if it's weight that you're worried about, like, loving and accepting yourself will make you feel more healthy. You will then naturally make more healthy decisions. You will then start to lose weight and kind of and see your body shape change. It's an energetic thing, it's a quantum thing as well. I'm not saying you don't have to go out and do the work. You will have to go out and put a pair of trainers on, and probably eat greens, but being healthy is about much more than exercising every day. If you're exercising every day and you still hate yourself, like, that's unhealthy. That's more unhealthy probably. Dr. Joe says that you can be eating the most organic food, fresh from the ground, every single day, but if you're eating it from a place of fear, then it's as bad as eating McDonald's every day. So really, your mindset and your beliefs are and the energy in which you're doing something in is really the biggest thing here. And so by being more connected to yourself, your energy, you will know which frequency you're doing something from. Is this from a place of love? Is this from a place of fear? And then you'll become more aware and you'll start to make healthier choices. I really, really hope that my answers, or my kind of perspective, helps in some way. I really love answering your questions. They make me think of things that I probably wouldn't have done. Before when I get these questions, I sit and I'm quiet with myself and I really go inward to try and hear what my intuition, what my higher self would tell me, would tell you. So thank you very much. If you have a question that you would like me to answer on the next Questions of the Heart episode, please connect with me on Instagram, DM me, write a comment below if this is on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, you can also email me, hello@rosanacroft.com, and we can take it from there. And I'll add you to the list for the next one. Okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you. I hope you have an incredible Sunday and a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Please connect with me on Instagram if you want to learn more about what I do. You can all the links to my website and stuff are in the description below. Have a wonderful day and I will see you next week.